What is going on, guys? One Alchemist wanted to make a quick video here um, regarding news that's being uh, disclosed. I have a couple of sources from CNBC to Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Motley Fool, Market Watch, Yahoo News that I want to go over. Pardon the background. I just wanted to set this up real quick as I'm getting my day started and found some time to take some notes really fast. But let me unload all of this information for you guys. So CNBC, Biden White House has released a framework on regulating crypto following an executive order issued March calling Fed agencies to examine risks and benefits of crypto and issue reports on findings. So this report includes ways financial services industries should evolve to make borderless transactions easier and how to crack down on fraud in the digital asset space. So it's very important to know that obviously digital assets is a sector, new thriving technology that is not going anywhere. And the reason that we could come to this conclusion is obviously all of the attention that's being paid to this space by the president. Um, at the moment, nobody's mandating anything yet. Priorities in this framework is consumer and investor protection, promoting financial stability. Not sure exactly what that means. Countering illicit finance, U.S. leadership in global financial system, and economic competitiveness. Now, that's interesting because U.S. leadership in the global financial system for over the last 50 years has been tied to oil and their relationship with the Saudis. And they're losing their grip on having the dollar being used to transact in oil. You could look into the BRICS nations for more on that. So it's interesting that they want to become globally the leadership in this system that's blossoming here. It's interesting to see how they're going to play rules and regulations in this space if their true aim is to become leaders. Financial inclusion. Now, inclusion, look, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. Inclusion, I have a problem with this whole narrative of, everybody is equal. And the reason for that is because it's not true. Some people have certain strengths that others don't. We were created in an equal manner, being that a male and a female came together in order to create a light human being life. But from that moment on, we are not equal. We all have dominant factors in us that have produced certain strengths. Doesn't mean that each individual does not have a part and role to play. But many times we see that trying to push inclusion of someone who clearly does not belong in a certain space because of their qualifications, lack thereof, it ends up undermining the development of a certain sector. So, for example, if speaking as a Latino male, if there was a certain amount of percentage that because of inclusion, a company has to have of Latinos, a certain percentage, I would be taking and filling someone's role that is clearly better qualified, but because they need to hit, say, for example, 5% of Latino males to be in a certain sales force. So now I'm taking the role and filling the seat of someone who is better qualified than I am. And that is just not inclusion. That's not fairness. That's stupidity at its highest form. I digress. Just wanted to put that note out there. Responsible innovation is another priority in the framework of this report. This framework. These new guidelines are meant to position the country as a leader in governance of the digital assets ecosystem at home and abroad. So they not only want to be governing the digital asset space ecosystem here, but the president will evaluate, this is quote, President will evaluate whether to call upon Congress to amend the Bank Secrecy Act, anti-tip-off statutes, laws against unlicensed money transmission to apply explicitly to digital asset service providers. So now, again, like much of the botchery that's happened with small businesses, you need a license for this, a license for that. And if you don't have a license, you are not deemed as a qualified person to take on business. All these licenses are pretty much just like taxing the hell out of small businesses and squashing the potential for the free market to move forward and thrive. And you see this especially in the restaurant business. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. And it seems that that's what they're going to want to do, is license to death many service providers in the digital asset space. They want to raise penalties for unlicensed money transmitting. At the end of the day, look, I am of the belief that government should remain small and intervene when there are clearly being people being hurt. This is just another example of government stepping in and destroying the free market and allowing nature to take its course. We see this specifically in the banking and investing sector, where people have become motivated by the bottom line, by goals, rather than by behaviors. And so we push on the border of breaking rules just to get to certain goals, which are incentivized, instead of incentivizing behaviors that lead to the goals. So we'll have in a company like, say, Fidelity, for example, not necessarily Fidelity, but brokers that are presenting certain products. You see this in sales a whole lot, where vital information to the client will be withheld in order to make that sale reach that goal, to the detriment down the line of the company, rather than incentivizing behaviors that lead to the goals that will down the line make the company thrive. But I digress once again. Look, they want to raise penalties for unlicensed money transmitting. What does that mean? And what do they mean when they say money? Because now, at this moment, the dollar bill really is not money. It's fiat, right? And now the space becomes even more clouded and gray the clear line of definition of what money is when you head into the digital asset space. So now you're already taking something that's used to transmit value, such as the dollar, which is fiat and based off of nothing, backed by nothing, right? Printed into infinity. But now we're entering the digital asset space, many stable coins of which are backed by fiat. And you want to state that we should apply laws against unlicensed money transmitting. So we need a whole lot of clarity, one, of the true definition of what money is, and why, in fact, unlicensed money transmitting is something worthy of having laws placed on. Because I'm going to touch on something very soon showing how much people have been defrauded within the crypto space compared to legacy dollars, regular money, what most people would deem regular money, and the contrast of just how bad fraud is in the old system and this new system. So they want to have this assessment done by the end of February 2023. And this is for digital assets. For non-fungible tokens, NFTs, the assessment is said to be done by July 2023. So $1 billion in crypto has been lost to fraud since the start of 2021, right? And this is all, this story is the CNBC story that was just released. $1 billion in crypto has been lost to fraud since the start of 2021. Now, this comes into contrast with a story released March 23, 2021 by Megan Leonhardt in the Make It episode of CNBC, where it stated that consumers have lost $56 billion to identity fraud just last year. But the focus is on tainting the image of crypto because 1 billion, so 1/56th of the amount that has been lost through identity fraud, 1/56th of that has been lost in crypto, and that's where the focus should be, huh? Not only this, but pay attention to what's going on. In the same article, we go over the possible benefits of a U.S. central bank digital currency. Pay attention, people. I'm ringing the alarm now for so long of what's coming. And China is the blueprint. This is going on already. This has been launched and rolled out in China, and those people are suffering. And we are just over here like zombies asleep at the wheel, not knowing what is really going on underneath our noses. Another story at Cointelegraph, most of crypto market is down, but Atom, Cosmos, digital asset price is up. Why? So this whole ETH merge that just happened pretty much left bulls holding a lot of nothing. Bitcoin has dropped below 20K these past couple of days. It's currently 20,023 as of 3:36 p.m. this Saturday, Eastern time. Atom, Cosmos, has made higher lows in an ascending channel, which tends to be bullish. The reason many believe that this is happening could be its fundamentals, but also what I believe is having to do a large part of this price action is the total value locked. That means is the total value of the asset in this space of Cosmos, that particular asset, is being locked and what is called staked for rewards. In this case, 17.75 APY. And so the reason why this is bullish is because there's a sense of security when there's a certain amount of a coin locked and staked for percentage back, because there's less of a chance of investors in that asset to sell off because it's locked. So with this particular coin, 66.75 available circulating supply is being staked or is currently locked away for a percentage back. So this gives many rational investors a sense of security because they know that if they purchase it, the likeliness of that particular coin dropping severely is limited. Now, very interesting. Again, I'm connecting dots here. The Wall Street Journal writes, FedEx stock has dropped. Motley Fool writes, UPS stock is falling. Now, what do these both companies have in common? They ship. Now, where has commerce gone mostly over the last couple of years from brick and mortar into the internet space, where what do we need in order to get things from one place to another? Shipping companies. Pay attention. Inflation and slowing global economy are weighing on shippers, which means people are buying less, because in order for shippers to do well, you need shoppers to be actively engaged in shopping, right? MarketWatch reports that Thursday, Microsoft stock falls, and Friday, Apple Inc. stock falls. Microsoft went this week from 266 down to 244. Apple has gone from 163 to 150. Connect the dots. The economy is not doing well right now, and they're blowing smoke. You can't make this up. The White House threw a party. I'm going to get to that. CNBC reports food inflation jumps more than 11% in 1 year. Okay, so things are getting more expensive. BBC writes mortgage rates hit 14-year high as inflation soars. And CNBC writes higher interest rates to squash inflation. And this is Ray Dalio speaking, interviewed by CNBC. It could tank the stock market prices by 20%. So the pain is not done yet with stocks. And so we correlate stocks with the crypto space. If stocks go down, so will the crypto space. And this will lead to huge opportunities moving forward, because we will be getting in at very low value pricing. So just be patient. Right now, the game is being patient. Don't act. Don't try to catch a falling knife. That is what's happening in all markets at this moment. Real estate, commerce, the stock market, the digital market. But you can't make this stuff up. Biden threw an inflation reduction party to celebrate his accomplishment. Yahoo News. Americans' total credit card balance has jumped up 13%. The average rate for new credit cards hits 21.4%. Now, when you connect all of these news events with an understanding of the global debt market and what's going on there, you will understand we are in a very delicate and not so good place that we're heading into. I'm ringing the alarm. I'm bringing you these news stories so that you could open your eyes. Right now is not the time to go hog wild, spending money, getting into debt for things you don't need to impress people that don't care about you and that you should not care about. Prepare, because things are... 2008 was nothing. 2008 was a preview. In order to get inflation under some type of control, interest rates will have to rise. Interest rates rising will equate also to the stock market going lower. All of this equates to a higher unemployment rate. Do your job. It's not the time to be lazy at work, because many companies will downsize right now. If you're not on it, they will look at you as the weak link and get rid of you. And right now is the time to cut down on expenses, to figure out a plan of what assets you believe in long run, long term. Stock up on food. Figure out a way to defend yourself. It's better to be prepared for the worst case scenario and not scared than to find out that you wake up one day and it's all hit the fan and you've been sleeping all this time, unaware of what's the possibility. Now, hopefully, this somehow is figured out and resolved by an unseen circumstance. But I believe that the higher probability is that an unseen circumstance or event may end up happening that just tips everything over towards a trajectory we are already heading in. Hope this video finds you well. Hope you're doing well. Please like, share, and subscribe. I wish you all the best. Have a great weekend.